get into this now. Let's do a little coaching, okay? Let's do a little coaching. Who wants to do a little bit of coaching right now? All right, so here we go. Get out your pens and paper. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Do you know that it's one of the 10 commandments? Don't covet. When was the last time you heard someone say that? Don't covet. Don't covet. Well, it means don't be jealous. It means that whatever someone else has, that is theirs. That is theirs, and you should know that whatever you have is meant for you. So this pen is all I could find, and I mentioned that today because my daughters have taken every pen out of my office, and I have the dignity to have office supplies. I like me some. How many of you love some office supplies? How many of you love going into the store and coming out with office supplies? It smells good. You like it. You're into it. I really do like office supplies. There's not a nary of an office supply left in my office. This is all that there is. And my accountant's like, okay, so we're writing off. I see you got highlighters and these and those. And I'm like, and I have nothing. I have not one anything left. So I took my daughter's pen. But you get out your pen and you don't covet mine because this is mine. It writes so well. It's so comfortable. Oh my God. And then my husband just heard me say that earlier. He goes, I'll buy you pens. I'm like, don't bother. They'll be gone in 70 seconds. It's unbelievable. Let me just go on a tangent for a second. I go to the store to get makeup, right? Can you tell that I'm not done up? Because I can't be. Because I go to the store to get makeup. My daughter's like, used your eyeliner and then grounded it in, and then used your lipstick and then smushed it real hard. So I went as far as to go get makeup with them and say to the woman, can you give them a little kit that's just theirs, just for them? And she's like, yes, I will. And we got them a blush, the blah, 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 with a little makeup carrying case. 2 days later, again, I have no makeup. It's not meant to be, guys. This is what it's going to look like. This is what it is. It's not going to be meant to be. So I have freckles that are God-given, and that's all that she wrote. That's all that's going to happen because I cannot hold on to any makeup. But my 4-year-old has literally a Kylie Jenner setup like you wouldn't believe. So good for her because, oh my God, it's just, I could go on and on. I really, really could. I really, really could. Right now, the thing that we're trying to do on my last tangent, right now, the thing that we're trying to do is get them in their own room. Can I just see a show of hands if you're brave enough? How many of you who are parents don't sleep next to your spouse because you sleep next to a child's leg or a child's elbow? Can you type a 1 in the chat if you don't sleep next to your spouse, but instead sleep next to a child or 2 children or 3 children? Type a 1. I want you to understand something. I'm trying to do everything I can. I'm bribing them. I had my daughter make a mood board today. I'm like, what do you want your room to look like? What kind of lights? What kind of sheets? What kind of things? I told her I would go as far to get her. Thank you for the ones. I told her I would get her a Casper mattress because they sponsor the podcast and I can get a tiny little coupon just like you can. And she's like, great. And I've tried it, and we've done all the things. We've gotten the lights for the wall that say good vibes only, and we've done wallpaper, and she's picked out so many cool things. My children sleep next to me. My children are with me 24/7. And my husband sleeps in the room that was supposed to be for them because there's 3 of the children and 1 of me, and there's 1 bed, and I don't actually sleep. So at like 5 in the morning, when I've been kicked for the 4th time, I get up and go to the couch, and there's many moments where I'm like, I don't know, like, I thought I was doing well. I thought that my business did well enough that like I could have a little bit of my own autonomy, but I don't have that. However, I have humans in my life that I am grateful for, and it's okay that I haven't slept in almost 10 years. My oldest is 9. But then don't look at me like, why are you wired all the time? I don't sleep. I don't have time. Help me. Help. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. It's great. It's totally fine. But anyone who tells you that they have 3 children and they have sex often, they lied to you. Okay? But I'm not lying to you. I'm very honest about that. That's not something that's happening in my life. okay. The other day, my husband's like, do you want to meet in the bunk bedroom? I'm like, no, that's awkward and strange. And he's like, okay. And he goes, but then you realize there's never a moment. I'm like, this is the way life has rolled out. This is the way life has rolled out. I'm glad that you guys wanted to hear the information, but really, that is all the information that there is that you need to know. Okay. Is everybody fully relaxed at this point or fully uncomfortable? Either which way. Whether you're all, just be all in. Be either fully uncomfortable or fully relaxed. And then we can get started. Okay, great. And we're going to start asking some questions. Now, by the way, I actually am making myself crack up. Oh my God. I actually had it in my notes today because my team, God bless my team, they've been like, Kath, can you just be more yourself? Like, just people love it when you're just more you, like all the things. And I'm like, absolutely, like careful what you wish for. But the thing I want to tell you is that you literally, when it comes to having any kind of spell you think that you want to cast on the world, you want to be a better business person, you want to attract better, cooler friends, you know what you do? You stop trying to be impressive. That's what you do. You just be yourself. Honest to God, it really works better. And that really is something I did want to talk about tonight, is that the way that I grew a business was this thing, whatever this just was just now. And I'm telling you, it's kind of like jumping out of an airplane when you're like, I'm not really totally sure how I'm going to be an impressive thing right now. And you just like jump out of the airplane. I promise you, you've been preparing for every moment you're in your entire life. You'll know what to say. You'll know how to be. And the bottom line is nobody wants to be sold. Nobody wants to be impressed. People want to connect. So the more you're normal and real, people go, I don't know. It's like Velcro. Like I'm starting to like connect and attach to this person because you're normal. So part of the reason, honestly, that I do made to do this is because I meet so many people, and you could ask my husband, my mother, my sister, wherever I go, wherever you go, whatever you do, we're gonna go through it together. I grew up doing musical theater. It saved my life. My parents fought all the time. Please don't hold it against me. That was my escape. The thing is, my friends, wherever I've gone, I see human beings who are amazing. They smile and the whole world lights up. They have good things to say. They do cool stuff. And I'll hold up this mirror and go, do you see this? Like, this thing is awesome. And they're like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. And I go, what's the no, 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 no? I go, what is that? And it's like, whenever I encourage somebody to go ahead and like put their self in the world, all of a sudden there comes a little choo-choo train with a message that says, in order to do that, you would have to be something you're not. And that's a real big bummer. A real big bummer. I was just watching earlier today. I gave myself a treat. And when I give myself a treat, I'm like watching something that I like to watch. So maybe it's an episode of Friends. But today I was watching a recent episode of Kelly Clarkson on Maya Bialik's podcast, The Breakdown, which is a great show. And Kelly Clarkson is so real. And that's why people like her, because she's herself. And you hear this and you read memes about it, but I'm telling you, let's be real for a second. Let's be realer than real. Like, how often are even the people posting those things, they be yourself, how often are they being themselves? Come on. And I'm not going to list names, but you know who I'm talking about. How many times are those cool girls with the awesome branding who are like, be yourself, be authentic? How often are they being themselves? So then what happens is you're like, yeah, you mean be yourself while you have your eyebrows done, while you have your lashes, while you also have the 3 things. What is it with the 3 things? Go onto Instagram and tell everyone the 3 things. Life is not the 3 things, okay? Life is life. There is no such thing. And that's why I made to do this, because I want to like take you by the collar in a kind way, in a gentle, safe space kind of a way, and say, you get to be yourself. And it actually works better. I told you guys this the other day, but my friend Laura Belgray says to me, are you here, Laura? Sometimes she is. I'm not is it Moonstone? It might be. This is the most expensive thing I ever bought for myself, because I wanted it. I admired it for like 8 years. I'll tell you about it later. But my friend Laura Belgrace said to me, you should create a course called Don't Keep Your Webinar, because my podcast is called Don't Keep Your Day Job. And she's like, whenever you sell, there is no sales pitch. It just, she goes, I don't know where was it? It didn't happen. I'm like, correct. You don't need it. You need to just drop the spiel and be yourself. And it actually works so well. And people don't see it coming because we're so tired. How exhausted are you? I was talking to a friend today who I adore, and she just like broke down, and I get it. And she's like, I'm just so tired of holding it all. Just holding it all. Just holding it all. How exhausting is that? Like, don't you get tired of it? The whole holding it all up and trying to level up every day and have an epic win all the time and trying and being, because that's the exhausting part, is like, that's not required. That's not good for your nervous system, right? So, I mean, it is interesting with like Instagram and Facebook. It is all about like, well, that only got 6 likes. Well, that got 40 likes. Well, that. It's like, what does that mean? What really does that mean? So now you post to get the likes. So then you don't post what you really feel. You post what you think they want. It's like, it's so dumb. And then we have this thought of like, oh my God, I had nothing epic to post today. I don't have a headline-y kind of a thing. I didn't get the book deal every day. I only got it once, and it was 9 months ago. So what do I post today? It's like, that is the weirdest culture. It's like, my culture is called achievementcentral.com. And unless I'm achieving something, I may as not be taking up space. That's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. My friend Kate Northrup, hi Kate, talked to her the other day. She's like, any human who's ever like tilled the word, anyone who's ever farmed, is farm a word? Any human, she says, who's ever worked the land knows that you don't reap from it every day. You don't harvest it every day. You give it a break. You let it sit. You let it seep, simmer, compost, all those things. Then when it is time for a harvest, the cherries taste better. The tomatoes taste better. You know that we don't do that in this country? We don't do that. We pump the land with pesticides. We keep ripping it out of the soil so fast. And the tomatoes taste like garbage. So then you have to go get some additive and balsamic and all of these things. And next thing you know, you're just eating corn syrup. And now this has taken a dark turn. But my point is, that's how we look at ourselves. It's like, I have to be this. I have to be that. Meanwhile, there's a whole world called all of the nice human beings that do exist. I know that we can have these glasses of like, everyone's the worst. The worst, John Raffio. No, not everyone's the worst. And all those people who are just waiting for you to have the courage to be yourself so that they can be your new friends, they're over here waiting for you to have the courage to just show up. And there's enough of those people that you can build your business making floral arrangements or pottery or having a women's group or doing some kind of retreat. And you go, I'm free now. Honest to God, I do made to do this because you are all the friends I wish I had in high school. Like, I walked around in junior high and people were so mean to me. OMG, let me just talk about it. But the point is, like, I showed up, and in the beginning I thought, Cathy, you're really crazy. Like, you're showing up, you're doing these things, you have the nerve to like gather people and like charge for what you do. Yeah, because if I don't do that, I can't do the thing, and then I have to go do something else. So then I can't, right? It's like, it's all so fine and awesome and good. And then people go, thank you. Do you know how many thank you cards I get? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's literally my go-to karaoke jam, Natalie Merchant. But the point is, I get so many thank you cards from people, and I'm like, you paid me for a class. Or like, I got so much more than what I paid you for. And I think so did I, because you're all the friends that I always wanted. And you were right there for me on the other side of me being like, this is it. This is what it is. This is what it is. And guess what? Together we can go a long way. Together we can make so much change and impact and get to do things that we love and get paid to do them. And there will be people who go, Gosh, I'm so happy to support you. And I love the bagels you make. And I really love that you just taught my daughter yoga. And I really love that you just created this women's networking thing. I love it. Thank you. Here's the money in exchange for that thing that you did. And you're really nice and cool. Thank you. But the best way to do that is to stop trying to impress everyone. Am I right? Can you just drop it? It's exhausting. So here are the questions. We'll do a little coaching, and then I do have winners. Winner. I have some winners to announce tonight. Number 1, what's the goal? I know that you haven't had prep, but I know that you have a mind and a heart, and before you go to sleep at night, you have a thought. Like, that would be the goal. Write it down. What's the goal? What really is that goal? If you were really put to the question and someone said, what is your goal? What really would be a goal that would feel like that's the goal? Is the goal, I want my marriage to be better? Is the goal, I want to make more money? Is the goal, I want to wake up and feel like I am actually in alignment with me, spending my precious hours doing things that I love? Is the goal, I want to be a better mother? Is the goal, I want to lose 20 pounds? Is the goal, I want to be healthier? Is the goal, I want to quit smoking? What is the goal? What is the goal? Write it down. What is the goal? What is the goal? Write it down. Write it down. What's the goal? And see if you can be as specific as possible. Specific as possible. Freedom to be myself. I want to make money working out. Fulfillment, financial abundance. Making a difference for kids who are fighting battles. See if you can be as specific as possible. So for that person, you could say, I would like to help someone like this kid with this battle. And for someone who said, I want to make more money, write down a number. Like, that would give me like the buzzy feeling, because that would be enough money that it was not just enough, but it was extra. And then I could do all the things, plus take that trip to Greece, or take my mother to that place she always wanted to visit, or fix up the guest house, or whatever it is. Be specific. That's good. I want to make $5,000 a month. We'll go to the next question in a second. I want to do more of what makes me happy and get a good income. Great. What makes you happy that you would want to do? And what would be a good income? Is it like, I would want to be a potter and I would love to make $22,000 a month doing that? You want to retire by 40, be in alignment with yourself and help others find alignment. And what does that look like? Because if you were in alignment, right? Like, I want to be able to whatever. So let's go to the next question, which is a little bit of what I was asking. I was just saying be more specific, but beyond be more specific, here's the second question. What would it mean for you if that goal came into fruition? What does it mean for you if you actually were in alignment, if you actually could help that kid, if you actually did live in abundance, if you actually did make $10,000 a month for writing poetry? What would that mean for you? What would it mean for you? Write it down. Would it feel like freedom? Would it mean for you that you had the ability to be a light to your kids? What would it mean for you? Would it change your life? Would it allow you to leave an abusive marriage? What would it mean for you? What would it mean for you to have that goal that you just wrote down? Freedom. Some people just wrote freedom. What would it mean for you to have that thing come to fruition? What does that mean? Why do you want this goal? Why do you keep thinking about it every night? Why do you keep thinking about it when you go to lunch with your friend and you're finally done complaining about your husbands and you really talk? Why do you always talk about this goal? Why does this goal keep coming up? Why have you been thinking about this goal for the last 20 years? What is it about this goal that if you had it, what does it mean? You would get your life back. You would feel confident. Okay. You'd have meaning. Okay. You'd have joy and purpose. You'd feel fulfilled. Okay, let's keep going. I have a few questions written down. Next question. Where are you at right now in relation to this goal? Where are you at right now in relation to this goal? What's going on? Are you almost there? Are you hitting an obstacle? Are you feeling like you're not even reaching for it? What is going on? What's in the way? How close are you? What's the honest answer to the question, where are you at right now in regards to this goal? Where are you at right now in regards to this goal that's going to give you a sense of meaning and freedom, this goal that you cannot stop thinking about? Where are you at right now? Ready to go. Not all there, not even close. I need to figure out where to pivot. Halfway there. Writing the query letter for an agent. Awesome. I'm in my way. I'm at the beginning. I don't have the tools. So far away. I'm at zero, ground zero. I'm on track. I'm on the very bottom rung of the ladder. I don't know where to start. I have all the skills, but not the courage. I'm stalled out. I don't believe that knitting will be a good income. My obstacle is what? What should I pursue? It says. I dwell in overwhelm. Type a 1 in the chat if you are feeling like you're not alone right now. Type a 1 in the chat if you are seeing that other people have similar things and situations and thoughts that you do too. Type a 1 in the chat. So we just heard some beautiful dreams, right? And we heard where we're at right now. So the next question is, how much longer do you want to wait to see this come together? How much longer do you want to wait to see this come together? How much longer do you want to wait? And the next question is, so what if this thing exists, this dream, this goal? What will you do then if you don't want to wait? What will you do? Because part of what makes a goal achievable is that, as I said yesterday, we have process goals and progress goals. So we say, I want to run the Ironman. I want to run the whatever it's called. Oh my God, I'm so bad at knowing how long marathons are. I want to run the marathon. Let's say the marathon is this many miles, 20 miles. Therefore, I'm not going to just sign up for the marathon and go run it. I'm going to start running and add a mile every single week or whatever it is. And slowly I'm going to get to the place where I can show up and do that, right? So how do we reverse engineer this? How do we reverse engineer this? So I'm going to read what you're saying. Some people are saying, no idea. I should take action. I don't want to wait another moment. What's the next thing you're going to do? Whatever we are not changing, we are choosing. And I mentioned Kelly Clarkson before, and I just heard her say, she was just saying this to Mayim Bialik on her podcast. She said, Mayim said, your voice is amazing. Like the first time everybody heard you sing, we were just like, I can't believe that this voice is a voice. It seems unreal. It's so incredible. And Kelly said, that voice, she said, I grew up in a town, she said, where everybody could sing. And it really wasn't a big deal. And she said, but my voice got better and better. And she said, actually, she added this part. She said, actually, I had a few choral directors who were so hard on me because, and she put in this part, because they refused to let me not live up to my potential because they saw it in me. So she said, they held the line and they were tough. She goes, so tough that I would cry multiple times. She goes, I can remember crying. And thank God, she said, because that choral director saw who I was capable of being and held the line so I could step in and become what she saw. And my voice exploded. And I think that that is so important. And I think that that is so the story. I have had so many amazing people on my podcast. And at one part or another in the story comes the moment where they tell me the one person who saw further than they could see. And that's the point in the story where they usually kind of break in their voice a little bit. And then they take me on a little journey about how that person came along. And from that point on, it was different. I think Oprah has this story when she talks about Maya Angelou. I think that every person I've ever met has this moment. And the research has shown that the way that we actually achieve goals is by being accountable. And we have to have people in our life who are really loving and really kind. Not people who play the part of being nice. Because the people who play that role of being nice to you as opposed to being kind are not actually going to help you. And when I was in the summer of my, I was going into sophomore year of high school, I did a bunch of shows up in Boston, like kids summer stock type thing. And I was in a show called Into the Woods. And I broke my arm actually that summer. And I played, can you guess? Who can guess who I would have played in the musical Into the Woods? I'll give you a second because the comments lag a little bit. Who do you think I played in Into the Woods? Does anyone have a guess? The reason I'm getting now that I'm probably waiting on the comments is because this is a very obscure Stephen Sondheim musical, and I'm asking you this question. Most of you are probably like, what's Into the Woods? It's not like I said, who did I play in a parody sketch about Friends? And you can be like, Chandler. No, I asked you but Joanna got it. Joanna got it, and so did, Deborah Jean Rogers gave me a compliment. You said The Baker's Wife. No, I didn't play The Baker's Wife. Meg O'Brien played The Baker's Wife, and her voice is bomb diggity. I played Little Red. Yeah, a few of you got it. You got it. And in the show, I sang one of the hardest songs. Give me a little credit because it goes up and down. And Stephen Sondheim he likes to keep musical theater kids on their toes. But in the song, she says, and I know things now, many valuable things that I hadn't known before. Do not put your faith in a cape and a hood. It will not protect you the way that you should. And take extra care with strangers. Even flowers have their dangers. And though scary is exciting. You ready? I did this all for this. She says, nice is different than good. She says, nice is different than good. And that was my big song. It's called No Things Now. And I rocked it. Yeah, I did. So in any case, by the way, that was the first summer in my life. That was the first moment in my life that I knew that in the moment I felt good about myself. Just to say. Because up until that moment, I did not feel good about myself. But something happened to me that summer. And I wasn't even supposed to get that part because I was the new kid. And I auditioned. And this girl, I won't say her name, wanted it. And she had been going there every summer. And she thought she was getting it. And they gave it to me. And that part and getting that moment changed my life. And it was fun to wear a red cape. But I did break my hand You want to hear a story? I was waiting in the wings to go on stage to sing No Things Now. And the wolf, the guy who plays the wolf, was backstage, and in the wings it was very dark. And I was supposed to crawl out because I had just been eaten, right? Like the grandmother and whatever get eaten, but they get a whole thing. That's a whole metaphor. In any case, I was walking out and he accidentally stepped on my thumb and my whole hand broke. And I had to go on stage with a broken hand. I was like, oh, I'm in some pain. And sang and performed, went to the hospital after, found out it was absolutely broken, wrapped it, had a cast to here. And they gave me a red cast so I could do the run of the show. It was all fine. But the reason I bring that up is because nice is different than good. It just is. And her point is that the wolf was really nice. He was charming. And he, hello, little girl, like, come over this way. And he was so nice. And nice is not good. Nice can turn into being good, but good and nice are not the same. And kindness, when you're a parent, if you want to be kind to your kid, you don't let them eat a bowl of gummy bears for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, even though they would think that was really nice if you did. If you want to be a great parent and you want to be kind and you want to be good, you have to say no quite often. And you have to say yes too. But the point is that we have goals and a part of us is dying. No joke, dying all the time that those goals are not coming to fruition. And that's really what everything's about. Every time you feel really, really angry that this person's not coming through, you're not coming through for you. Every time you feel so mad that whatever situation is the way that it is in the world and it's not fair, it's because you're not feeling inside that this thing is it's always there, is my point. It's always there. And then what happens is we tend to find a group of people to hang out with who oftentimes keep us feeling safe. And they're nice and they're like, it's totally fine. You're totally fine. It's all fine. It's all fine. But it's not fine. And so what I'm really, really proud of and impressed by truly is that when I started Made to Do This, I knew that this would be a place where the cost of admission was being good. And the people in the group would actually be kind to one another. There's respect and there's sensitivity, but there's kindness. And everybody says, I will not let you talk yourself out of your potential. Not today. Not on my watch. So I ask you those questions because you should be asking yourself those questions every day. Just like my daughter literally today says to my husband, we were laughing at dinner. She goes, smell my breath. I brushed my teeth yesterday. And we all laughed. And he goes, you have to do that every day. She's 4. It's okay. We'll give her a pass. But the point being that you are like, oh, well, we just talked about goals. Like, yeah, that probably should take a little bit of the time out of your very busy life that, yeah, every day you probably want to be looking at your goals and understanding what you're doing today that's going to get you closer. And as my friend Evan Carmichael says, if you look at the next month and there's nothing on your calendar that makes your heart race, you're not going to grow and you're not going to hit the goal. So I want to actually be one of the people that comes along and loves you more into life and holds up a image of what is possible and who you really are. You are stronger than the fear of, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm not going to try because it might be awkward. You're stronger than that. You've survived all of the hardest days. And you're here, and you're not just here. You're kind, you're loving. I see the way you guys show up. You're smart, you're conscientious. You have so much in you, and you're playing so small, and it is not okay with me. I've had opportunities that I can't, just because I had the courage to do this thing, which I thought was so dumb at the time. I'm like, no one's going to listen to me. There's already a million shows. This is so embarrassing. And I told Emma, I'm not doing it. I recorded it and then I said, no, I'm not putting it out there. And then something happened that's never happened in my life. I lost my voice, completely lost my voice. Had to get a shot of steroid because I lost my voice. And I lost my voice because I had made the decision not to put the podcast out, and something inside of me knew that that was me cutting off something that had to come out. And then I said, forget it, I'm just going to do it. And I'm glad I did, because it's been 4 years and we are 21 million downloads into that stinking podcast. 21 million downloads, and we are going to cross 8 figures this year. I'm pretty glad that I made that choice. And the reason that that podcast blew up is because when I made the choice, I knew that if I made the choice, I was making a commitment to do that show consistently. Not try to do it, do it. And by making that commitment to that decision, eventually the brilliant podcasts come. Eventually the guests come. Eventually the audience grows. And I started with 0. I didn't even have an Instagram following when I started. I didn't even have an Instagram account. I remember when I started the podcast, I started an Instagram account just then, started it. And I put the link to the podcast in the caption. And my friend David reached out and he goes, Kath, I'm not trying to be critical. I'm trying to help you. That's not even how Instagram works. They can't hyperlink. I was like, okay, great. How is everyone going to listen to my podcast? I didn't know what I was doing. But somehow, when you heed the call, there's a lot of magic right behind that. But it takes you being willing to surrender the fear.